All right, so now you guys are probably wondering why I'm wearing a Spider-Man costume, and that's for two reasons. One, the new Spider-Man game just released on PlayStation, and I'm going to be playing it live on Twitch the entire weekend. I am not joking. I'm going to be playing this game till it gets to 100%, so make sure you guys click on the link down below in the description and watch me live playing this game. And of course, number two, today's story has a lot to do with Spider-Man, so please make sure you guys do leave a like and subscribe, and let's just jump straight into this. Yo, what is going on, you guys? My name's Bubba, Yo, what is going on, you guys? My name's Spider-Man, and welcome back to another insane video. So today's video, my arch nemesis was the Devil's Tango. Okay, no, I'm done. I can't breathe in the mask. Okay. Yo, what is going on, you guys? My name's Bubba, and welcome back to a really embarrassing story. So today's story all takes place back when I was in middle school. Yes, middle school. The worst years of anyone's life. I remember back when I was in middle school in my grade 7th year, I was really, and I'm not joking, really against Spider-Man. I didn't like Spider-Man at all, and I thought Spider-Man was like one of the most weirdest superheroes. Because let's be real here, a lot of people hate spiders, so why make that a hero? Obviously, my favorite superhero was Batman at the time, and to be honest, to this day, it is still my favorite superhero. But one thing I will say is that I remember back when I was in middle school, I had a crush on this girl that loved Spider-Man. And by love, I mean, I'm not joking, she literally loved him. Now, I don't know why. In my time, Andrew Garfield was being the new Spider-Man, and I guess a lot of people thought Andrew Garfield was like the hottest guy ever, which I'm not gonna lie, I think I look better than Andrew Garfield, but that's just my opinion, and hopefully a lot of other girls' opinion. Like, come on, like, I ripped the suit better than him, right? Anyways, like I was saying, in middle school, my crush loved Spider-Man, and she would always, and I mean always, talk about Spider-Man. And around October, when this is actually being filmed, and funny enough, Halloween was coming up, and a lot of people were deciding on costumes. A lot of my friends were gonna be the typical clowns, ghosts, and you know, all this stuff. And the girls, well, they were being whatever they could be with the word slut in front of it, I guess. But I remember basically, I knew that I wanted to be Batman. My dream was to be Batman. And to this day, I still want to be Batman. So I remember I ended up going up to my parents that year and I told them, Mom, Dad, could I be Batman this year? My mom looked at me and said, No, Bubba, you cannot be Batman this year. The costume's too expensive, Bubba. We can't do it. And I remember I was really sad because obviously Batman, the costume was like super expensive because like the utility belt, you know, the cape, the cowl, like it was just too expensive for my parents to handle at the time. So I remember me trying to think of an alternative costume that, you know I would love. I remember I was walking around the school, and then that's when my buddy came up to me in school. He came up to me the next day at school and he told me, Yo, bro, do you know like what you're gonna be for this year? I don't know, man. I want to be Batman, but the costume's too expensive apparently, so I might just honestly be like a cowboy or something. Really, bro? You're gonna be something lame like a cowboy? Come on, bro. You gotta think of something good. I remember after he said that, I was really trying to think what costume I could be. I was trying to think so hard of like, you know, what would look good on me, what would be awesome, what would make me different from the others. And I remember as I was trying to think in one of my classes, I was writing down notes, and then I saw my crush in front of me because she sat in the same table group as me. I remember I looked over at her, and basically I was gonna ask her what she was doing for Halloween, but to be honest, I had a really hard time interacting with my crush. I used to have a really bad stutter back when I was a kid. I remember instead of just talking to her, I ended up just kind of like listening and overhearing her conversations that she would have with her friends. And that's when I realized that year my crush was going to be Mary Jane Watson from Spider-Man. Now, if you guys don't know who Mary Jane is basically the lover of Spider-Man. And me, as much as I did not like Spider-Man, I thought this would be a golden opportunity to be Spider-Man this year. I remember afterwards when I heard about it, I ended up going up to my friends at lunchtime and telling them how I was going to be Spider-Man this year. My friends all ended up looking at me saying, Bro, you know you're gonna have to wear spandex, right? And obviously, you know, spandex, it shows a lot of the junk. I should know I'm literally wearing spandex, and like I'm not gonna lie, like I don't know how Spider-Man does this on the daily, but basically I remember I ended up telling him how, you know, how my crush was gonna be Mary Jane, so I thought me being Spider-Man would just work. They all ended up laughing at me, telling me that it was the dumbest idea ever. But me, I remember I wanted to pull being Spider-Man. I remember a couple days went by, and basically the Halloween dance was coming up at my school. If the Halloween dance was just something that the teachers hosted just so we felt like Halloween was actually special, when in reality it never was. And one thing led to another. I remember basically from there, I was telling my parents about how I wanted to be the Spider-Man for Halloween. My parents thought it was a good idea because literally wearing a spandex costume didn't cost as much, and it only costed like what, $40 to get at the time, which I mean nowadays, I'm not joking, Spider-Man costumes go up to like $80 somehow. I don't know why inflation's just that bad nowadays, I guess. But basically one thing led to another. I remember the day of the Halloween dance, I got my Spider-Man costume, I put it on, and I was the Spider-Man. I wasn't what Spider-Man costume I have now. It was a way different costume. I think it was like from the original Spider-Man, which was Tobey Maguire. And basically I put on that costume, and I'm not gonna lie to you, you, I looked absolutely stupid. I looked so dumb and so weird that like it just looked really, really bad on me. But obviously I wasn't gonna put that away because me being Spider-Man, she would be Mary Jane, and it would just be the perfect couple's costume that was not planned, as creepy as it sounds at least. Now, I remember when I got to school with my Spider-Man costume, a lot of people were laughing at me because that thing was really skin tight on me. But at the same time though, I knew I loved it, and I won't lie to you as well, I had the mask on the whole time. I'm not joking. I wore the Spider-Man mask the whole day at school until the school dance came around. When the school dance came around, I remember basically I had the mask on the whole day. I'm not joking. I think I was sweating more than a sinner at church. Wearing that mask, I don't know what it was. It made me feel less embarrassed because no one actually knew who was under the mask, which I'm not gonna lie, they actually did. But for me, I felt like they didn't. So I remember I would go around the school being super confident and everything. And then that's when I remembered I saw my middle school crush. She had a red wig on, and on top of that, she ended up basically looking really, really good. As Mary Jane, she wore like the whole reporter outfit. She looked really nice, and honestly, she looked outstanding. So I remember I walked up to her and I'm like, hey, you must be Mary Jane Watson. She looked over at me and she's like, yeah, I guess. Wait, are you Spider-Man? Yeah, I am Spider-Man. Like, I don't know how she thought I wasn't Spider-Man. I guess, like, you know, being in grade 7, you're just automatically slower than the average person. But I told her I was Spider-Man, and me and her, we ended up talking throughout the entire night. And funny enough, you want to know something crazy as well? She actually did not know who was under the mask. The whole time she thought I was her friend Jason, which I should not be saying names on this channel, but I will for this one guy because I hate him with my guts. She thought I was this one guy named Jason that was basically, you know, one of her crushes apparently. Now, I'm not gonna lie to you. The whole night I was just talking to her, having a good time, and we were actually speaking. And funny enough, my stutter wasn't actually that bad when I would speak to her. And I want to say after 2 hours and like, you know, it being super late at night, she ended up telling me how she wanted me to walk home with her. Now, me walking home with her, I'm not gonna lie, walking home with a girl, like my parents would never let me, but I wasn't me that day. I was Spider-Man. So I basically ended up walking home with her, and one thing led to another. We ended up holding hands. Now, reminder, I still had the mask on. I still wore my Spider-Man mask the whole day. It literally killed me, but honestly, I had to do it. I had to. I was sticking it through. And I remember once we actually ended up going to her doorstep, and once I actually went on her doorstep and like, you know, stood there, she looks over at me and says, I had such a great night. I remember I looked at her, I'm like, thanks. And then she said, so do I not get to see who's under the mask? At this moment, she thought I was this guy named Jason. So I remember I ended up telling her no, but then she ended up taking my mask and ripping it off my face. And that mask was soaked, by the way. It was soaked, like drenched in my sweat. And she saw me with soaked wet hair, which was from my sweat, and basically me dripping down from my nose, more sweat. And she looked at me and said, Baba, that's you the whole night? I said, yeah, and I reached in for the kiss, but as I was reaching in, she ended up going inside her house. And yeah, that's when I basically realized that I will hate Spider-Man forever. Anyways, guys, that is basically it for today's story. Make sure you guys do leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And like I always say, just follow for more embarrassing stories. But also, real quick, I am live. And remember, I said this in the beginning of the video. So click in the link down below and watch me live playing the new Spider-Man game. All right, peace out, guys.